So did y'all see the video of the older sister who got up here and was talking about how she's not going to be speaking to her 11-year-old sister anymore? If you didn't, I'll give you the rundown. So essentially, an older sister gets up here and she talks about how she's not going to be speaking to her 11-year-old sister anymore. She goes on to say that every year her dad sends her and her little sister money to go and pick out gifts for their mom for Mother's Day. And this year, their dad sent both of them $100 each. So the little sister, like the day before Mother's Day or something like that, ends up going and having a sleepover with one of her friends. She stays the night at her friend's house. Everything's fine. She comes back home the next day on Mother's Day. And that morning, the older sister basically goes to her and is like, hey, we need to go and get these Mother's Day gifts for mom. The little sister looks at her older sister and is like, I can't do that. I don't have all the money anymore. The little girl left with $100 that was meant for Mother's Day gifts, and she came back with $60. The older sister's obviously like, what do you mean you don't have all the money anymore? And the little sister's like, oh, well, I had to, DoorDash food for me and my friend when I was staying the night at her house. And so I spent some of the money that was supposed to be for mom's Mother's Day gifts on DoorDash. The older sister ends up going to the mom and is like, hey, little sis is saying that she can't go with me to pick out Mother's Day gifts for you today because she spent some of the money and she doesn't have the $100 anymore. So the mom obviously is like, what do you mean she doesn't have the money anymore? And the older sister is like, yeah, she claims that she spent it on DoorDash when she was at her friend's house last night. And then the mom is like, oh, well, that's funny because me and your dad literally just sent her $50 whenever she was at her friend's house in order for her to get DoorDash for her and her friend. So, it's like, how is she having to spend money out of the Mother's Day money in order to DoorDash food when we specifically sent her money for DoorDash? So obviously the math ain't mathin'. So the mom goes to the little sister and essentially is like, give me your phone. I want to see what you've been spending money on. The little sister gives the mom the phone and the mom sees that, yes, she did order DoorDash. She ordered DoorDash on like 4 or 5 separate occasions. She ordered food from like multiple fast food places. She ordered stuff from the corner store. She ordered stuff from Starbucks. And if you've used DoorDash, them delivery fees, they add up. And not only was she ordering like excessive amounts of DoorDash, but she also was ordering stuff off of like SHEIN and stuff like that. So essentially the little sister just went on a whole like shopping spree when she was at her friend's house. At that point, the dad comes in. He's like, what's going on? The mom gives him the rundown of what's happening. Obviously, he's pissed off because it's like at this point, about $80, $90 has just like disappeared. It's gone. Like the $50 they sent her for the DoorDash, as well as the $40 that came out of the Mother's Day money. So it's like, where is this $80 to $90? What you spent $80 to $90 on SHEIN and DoorDash? The little sister then hits them with, well, essentially like, I don't get what the big fucking deal is because I ordered mom a Mother's Day gift before dad even gave me the $100. And how did she do that, you may ask? She took her dad's card and used it to order Mother's Day gifts before he ever even gave her the money for Mother's Day. Like, she was expecting to get money specifically for Mother's Day gifts. And so she preemptively went and used her dad's card to order gifts so she could then turn around and pocket whatever money he ended up giving her for gifts. So at this point, the little girl's running a scam. She's scheming on her own family. So at this point, the little girl's getting in trouble because not only are you lying, but you're kind of stealing. People were arguing back and forth about whether or not it could really be classified as stealing in the comment section. But the way I see it is like, if this sort of behavior persists, what stops her from getting older, maybe having like a roommate situation going on in like her first apartment or something? Somebody gives her money specifically to pay the light bill, and she just decides she's going to spend it on whatever she wants to, and then just be like, what's the big deal? Like, at the end of the day, you have to be responsible. You have to be accountable. Like, you can't take other people's money and then just decide you're going to spend it on whatever you see fit, unless the money was given to you as a gift for you to then spend on whatever it is you want. But that was not the case. Like, it's not like her dad just gave her $100 to do whatever she wanted to with it. He gave her $100 to buy gifts for her mother for Mother's Day. And then like the act of like using his card to order gifts beforehand so you could then pocket the $100 later. A lot of people are saying like, oh, I don't get the big deal because it's like mom ended up with gifts. So like, what's the issue? Like, the whole point was for mom to get gifts. So why does it matter whether or not she spent that $100 on gifts? Or what does it matter if she didn't spend the whole $100 on gifts? Y'all don't see something wrong with that? Like, that just seems trifling to me. Maybe it's just me. Like, I couldn't imagine my husband, like, I know my husband's going to give me money to, like, pay the light bill or something, right? So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and get his card out of his wallet. I'm going to go online and I'm going to go ahead and pay the light bill now with money that's in his account. So then when he sends me the money for the light bill later, I can just pocket that money and spend it on what I want to spend it on. That just seems... That's stealing, is it not? Like, I would feel as though I stole from him. Because then what am I supposed to tell him if he notices that, like, say the light bill's $100, right? He has planned to send me $100 for the light bill. I've already spent $100 out of his account. Now all of a sudden he's got $200 missing out of his account. What am I supposed to say if he asks me about this other $100? I'm gonna have to come up with a lie, like, because it's like, at that point, why would you allow me to send you the light bill money if you've already paid the light bill? You know what I mean? Like if you had already preemptively bought Mother's Day gifts to try to get ahead of the curve, that's fine. But then you should have told your dad, like, hey, Dad, I don't need this $100. I already bought Mom gifts. Or you take the $100 and you just add to whatever it is you got your mom. And if you end up not spending the whole $100, you give the change back. And then it's like up to your parents whether or not they want to be like, oh, you can keep it, right? It really is the principle. It's the fact that she was being sneaky, right? It's the fact that she's sneaking around and she's doing this and she's doing that to like set things in motion to go the way that she wants them to go. And then she's just shrugging her shoulders and being like, what's the big deal, when people have an issue with the fact that she's being sneaky and lying. And then to top it all off, whenever she started to get in trouble by her mom and her dad, she started to cry, right? And then turned around and said that it was not only her older sister's fault, but that she hopes her older sister herself. That is the makings of a sociopath. Y'all need to get that little girl a lady to talk to. And the older sister did acknowledge that she understands like a big chunk of this is her parents' fault. Like her parents don't discipline her. She really doesn't face any consequences for her actions. They don't even really have conversations with her about the things that she does wrong. Like they have essentially just allowed the girl to run wild and do whatever the hell she wants to do for 11 years. And it is sad to say, like, people are mad at the older sister for saying that she's not going to speak to her younger sister anymore because it's like, oh, well, your younger sister is only behaving the way she's always been allowed to behave. But that's the issue that a lot of parents don't seem to understand, because like they'll be so upset at the fact that their children, as they get older and become adults, end up like breaking apart and not having a relationship or not really speaking. But a lot of times the downfall of sibling relationships are due to parental failures. And a lot of times you will eventually find the scenario where one sibling genuinely cannot stand the other sibling. And it's because the parents have allowed this other sibling to behave however they want and treat people however they want. And the other sibling or siblings get tired of it. And it really does put a wedge in the middle of that sibling relationship. But at the end of the day, you cannot fault this girl for, at least currently in this point in time, not wanting to speak to her sister, who literally just not only wished death on her, but wished that she would die at her own hand. Like, you wished that I would commit myself. What? I would be highly concerned that my 11-year-old daughter decided the best course of action to take when getting in trouble for something that you know you shouldn't have done, right? For doing something that you know was wrong, was to immediately start wishing death on your sister. Like, to wish death on anybody is insane, but your own sister? And like that, oh, she's only 11. At a certain point, y'all gotta cut that shit out. A lot of y'all love to use whatever age your child is currently at as an excuse, and y'all use their age as an excuse forever. It's always, oh, well, they're only 7. Oh, they're only 8. Oh, they're only 10. Oh, they're only 11. Oh, they're only a teenager. Oh, they're only 18. Oh, they're only in their early 20s. We sit around and we talk till we're blue in the face, especially on this app, about what's wrong with the kids. Why do the kids behave the way that they do? You know, why are the kids so selfish? Why are the kids so violent? Why are the kids so this, that, and the third? But then we have parents who are witnessing very severe red flags within their child's behavior and just always excusing it and justifying it. Wishing that your sister would herself is not a normal part of an 11-year-old's development. I don't understand, like, the normalization of siblings constantly wishing death on each other. I genuinely am a believer that the tongue is a powerful thing. Be very careful what you wish for. Your child, I'm gonna tell y'all now, your child is not too young to be held accountable. Your child is not too young to be disciplined. Yes, there can be age-appropriate accountability, there can be age-appropriate discipline, but there needs to be accountability and discipline, and there needs to be consequences. I have a 7 and a 4-year-old, and they know that they are accountable for the way that they speak to people. They are accountable for the way that they treat people. They are accountable for the things that they say just in general, even if they're not directing it at anyone specific. Y'all better be careful. Y'all's little girl's gonna grow up and try that scheming, scamming shit on the wrong person, and if y'all don't get her under control, somebody in the real world will.